All right, and for your range of motion evaluation, I'm going to show y'all some of these, how these things are on the chart. I mean, because if you look at the chart, it's self-explanatory, but again, I'm going to show you just so you get an idea. For instance, let's do now, according to the chart, if you look at the one that has the back, the neck, and then if you come down around about number 7, it says hip flexion. Now, the hip flexion they're showing, let's do that side over there because it's closest to the camera. Okay, bring it up. There you go. So that's hip flexion. Now, the way you want to measure this, again, you have the big side here. So you want that side to be here. So I would come around and you kind of want this to stay at the hip joint at a 90-degree angle, and then you bring this along. Okay, now there's the femur. So I'm following the femur. And I have it, I hold it, and you can relax. Okay, so what we have, because being straight down, that's flat out, so that would be like ground zero started there. And then Nevaeh came up, and it's about 100 and that's about 103, 104 of hip flexion. Now the average is 100. So Nevaeh, of course, is above average, but we all know that about Nevaeh. So, and see, it has to do it with the knee flexed. And so that's the one that we did. So underneath flexed, normal would be 100 degrees. And then what we would write in there is 110 degrees for Nevaeh. Not 110, 103 for Nevaeh. Then you also have right beside of it, it says knee extended, hip flexion. So there you go. Now that's with the knee extended. Now again, this is your 0 grounds. You come up and then boom. Okay, you can relax. I'm shaking. And Nevaeh is at 93.
That's not good. Hold on, wait a minute.
And so what is normal for the knee extended is 100 degrees.
Oh!
So what that tells us is that Nevaeh's hamstrings are tight. Because I don't know if you saw it on the video, but Nevaeh's legs started trembling, which means that her quads are fighting against the hamstrings. So the hamstrings are tight. And see, that's why we do these things, because it helps us to understand what's going on with a person and where we're going with our treatment plan. So with a knee flex, we got 103. And why is it that much? Because the knee is bent. What does the hamstrings do? They extend and they also flex the knee. So there's not much resistance against the quads when brought up with the knee in a flex position. But with extended, when you bring it up, the hamstrings, because of where they're attached at, are fighting against the quads, and there you had that tremble effect. So again, we would work more so on the hamstrings for Nevaeh. All right, another measurement. Now, we can do, let me show you. Now, this is a hard one for people to measure because you kind of have to watch what a person's body's doing. So we're going to do hip abduction. So that's away from the midline. So take that leg out as far, no, out that way as far as it goes without any problems.
Rotating it?
No, just straight out. Okay. Okay. Now let's not rotate the foot. Okay. All right. So to measure this, midline of the body, and then again following the femur out. So that's midline following the femur. Okay, there's the femur. I hold. Okay, you can relax. Now from ground zero all the way out, what we have is 66 degrees. That's on the right side. Now, normal is 40 degrees. So Nevaeh is good there, but again, that don't surprise me because Nevaeh is very flexible. Now we can do the left side, but I can promise you it's greater than 40 with Nevaeh.
Can we do it just?
All right, let's go ahead and do it just out of curiosity. So abduction. All right, now come here. Oh, sorry, I should have been in position already. Okay, midline the body. Follow. There's the femur there. Okay, and you can relax. And what we have is 79.
Jesus. My left side is more flexible.
So we got a 66 on one side and a 79 on the other. Yeah. So what that says is that the adductors is tighter on one side than they are the other. Another one is hip adduction. Again, these abduction and adductions are funny because people will sometimes go and they'll put a rotation to their body when you need to keep the upper body as stable as possible. So to do the hip adduction, okay, let's bring this knee up. Okay, go ahead. There you go. And you can hold it. Now, take this foot and then try to bring it in this way as far as possible. Okay, there you go. Hold right there. Here's midline. There you go. All right, and you can relax. So what we have is 30 degrees on the right leg. Right leg, 30 degrees. And normal is 20 degrees. So Nevaeh is good. I ain't shocked. Now let's try the other one. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. All right. Baseline down, center of the body. And femur there. Okay, you can relax. Now, not so much on this side. This side we have 34 degrees. Now it's greater than the other side. So yeah, the other side we have 30 degrees, and this side we got 34. So still better than 20, which is the normal. You also have knee flexion. Okay, bring it up. Oh, yeah, there you go. And then flexioning. No,
Yeah.
there you go. And without even really measuring, I can tell you that, yeah, we good to go. So make sure this is straight with the femur. And let's see, here's the tibia shaft there. And you can relax. What we have is 40 degrees. And now, I don't quite understand why they have at 150 degrees, but this is what I think in theory. What they're doing is go ahead and extend it up. And I think what they're doing is they're measuring from here, and then when you flex. And so this would be the straight up. So I think that's where they get the 150 from. But because I got 40 here, all you have to do, because of these have they numbers all the way across, look up here. And then that'll tell you right up there. And so what it tells me is that Nevaeh is at 140, 143, 44. Yeah. So that's what it pretty much tells you. Now, hold on, let me think about that. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That would be about 144 degrees. Yeah. So, like I said, you'll see on some of these measurements, but what it is based on where they're measuring from. So, what they're measuring this at knee flexion, what they're doing is they're starting with the leg extended, and then they're flexing the knee. So, if you come up and you look at it from this angle, it'll say like 40 degrees. What you need to do is come on up here, and you'll have that 100 and something odd degree angle that they're talking about. So, like I said, don't let all these numbers on this thing confuse you, because this is made to where you don't have to keep flipping it this way, that way, and all this stuff. That's why they have all those numbers on there. 360 degrees of measurement. Let's see. Let me get you to turn pro. I have to be thinking about that name sometimes. Okay. Hip extension. Let me get you to raise this one up, extend it. Okay, now relax your hips. So there you go. All right. And I can already tell you that that's a big number. Okay. So
I want to turn out my legs so bad.
okay, and relax. And what we have here is 30, about 33. And the average is 30.
Oh, that's not okay. Sorry, y'all.
And then let me get this side over here. All right. And again, what you want is you want the person's hips to remain flat on the table, because what people tend to do is they will involve their back also with this movement. Okay, you can relax. And what we have here is, on that side, 35. So we got 33 on one side, 35 on the other side. And that is pretty much all of the measurements for the lower body. Now, if you could please sit up for me and face the camera. Now, as far as lateral neck flexion, what that is doing your head like so, like so. That's what, yeah, making your ears go to your shoulders. And the way you measure that, of course, is this will be 90-degree angle, like so. And so if I say, let's tilt towards the left shoulder. Now I'll just kind of measure here. And you want this arm to come towards the crown of the head, the very top of the head. Okay, you can relax. And because we started at 90 degrees, I would count this way. So that would be 10, 20, 30, 30 degrees towards the left side. Now, 45 would be the north. So let's check the other side. Okay. Now you go ahead and flex. Crown of the head. Okay. Now you relax. And what we have here is, okay, go again. I moved the wrong one. Yeah. Okay, now you can relax. Okay, now what we have here is 10, 20, 30, 39.
Almost there. Almost there.
And 39 the other way. But normal is 45 degrees. So what that tells me is that the vein is shoulders are tight. Let's see. Yeah, SCMs are tight. And depending on how Nevaeh sleeps. So that has a lot to do with the limited flexion. But what we know is that by working the neck, by the time we get done, we want to see if we can get it to 45 degrees both ways. Then you have neck extension and flexion. Now what you want to do here, yep. All right, so let's go with flexion right now. Flexion. There we go. And again with the crown of the head, and there you go. And you can relax. So there will be 90, let's see, 90, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 54. 54 in flexion, which is good because normal is 50. Now, for extension, okay, relax. And what we have is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, at about 84. 84.
Ouch.
And normal is 60 degrees. So again, we see where Nevaeh has pretty good amount of flexibility in flexion and extension, but not so much in lateral flexion of the neck. Neck rotation. Now, neck rotation is that no, when you get those side to side. That is something that's hard to measure. Let me get you to turn to the left. And what you want is you want people to turn as far as they can until they start to feel some discomfort or tightness. And then you let that be your stopping point. Don't have them try to force it, but hold it right there. Now, if you wanted to try to measure this, what you could do is put it on the top of the head and then come out, and you want to go with where the nose is. You have to have your person sit down in order to do this. All right. And what we have is 47 degrees. And it's turned to the
Jesus. Oh my
Yep.
God.
And normal should be about 80 degrees. Now again, I knew that Nevaeh wasn't all the way where she needed to be, but you know, for the sake of if you wanted to measure it, that's how you could measure it. Okay, let me get you to turn the other way. There we go. All right, again, if I wanted to try to measure it without doing a guesstimation, and you can relax. And what we have is 86 on this side.
Okay.
And 80 degrees is regular. So what that says is that when you think about rotation of the neck, you have muscles that work unilaterally and of course bilaterally. So this side could be tight, but it could be fighting against the SCM on this side or the traps on this side. So it's going to take a lot of palpation skills to figure out what side of the neck is actually causing limitation and rotation to the left. Okay, now let's see, any other measurements here? Let's say, let's go with, you can jump up for me. Yeah, let me turn that way so we can see what you got going on. Okay, let's do lateral flexion of the trunk. And so that's where you're going from side to side like so. Okay, let me get you to go to the left. Now, again, this is midline of the body here. And then what you want to do is bring this out along with the spine. There we go. Hold it. Okay, you can relax. And what we have is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees to the left. What's normal is 25 degrees. So Nevaeh is good in that area. Okay, now to the right. And again, here's midline the body, following the spine. Spine is right along there. Hold it. Okay, relax. And on that side, we have 36. And that's how you would get that measurement. Now, please turn to the side here. And let me get you to flex at the hip going forward. There we go. Now, to measure this, this at the hip will be 90 degrees. And then what you want to do is follow the line of the torso of the body. And you can relax and come on back up. And what we have here, because what they're measuring at about 25 degrees, because what they're doing is they're measuring this region in here. So what we have is, and of course I knew it, but Nevaeh is at 124. No, wait a minute. That extension is 25, flexion is 90 degrees. So Nevaeh is at 120 degrees flexion wise. So that's 30 degrees more than, yep, and extension is backwards.
I can use my arms because it will really pop out.
Well,
arms.
I think you can. I think, because it don't really show that picture. Okay, Nevaeh. Hip, and then, of course, following the spine. There we go. And you can relax. And what we have is 60 degrees, and normal is 25.
Stance.
And there you go. You have the measurements for the back, for extension and flexion, lateral, flexion, left and right. And then for the neck, extension and flexion. For neck lateral bending, left and right. Neck rotation, left and right. Hip backward extension for the left and right. Hip flexion with knee flexed and with knee extended, both left and right. And hip adduction, left and right. Hip abduction, left and right. And knee flexion, left and right. So that's how you would do the measurements for those things. The arms and the shoulders are pretty much simple because you saw earlier when I used Shannon as my model when I was talking about the goniometer. But that's all it is to doing range of motion testing. Thank you.